on my mind, money, money on my mind. Throw it up, watch it follow from the sky.
So today I'm going to start with my new fit out series. I'm going to be fitting out the canopy, building drawers, fridge slides, all the 12 volt gear, inverter, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to start piecing that together today. So I'm going to be doing it after work, so thankfully it's daylight savings. It doesn't go dark till like 7 o'clock-ish now, which is pretty good. Used to be like 5 o'clock dark, couldn't see anything. I was using a head torch, but now I can actually still work out here till about 7:30, and then I'll need the head torch. But yeah, so I'm going to start on the fit out, and the first problem I've run into is, well, would be my excessively oversized fridge. Well, fridge freezer. It's a dual zone. I run one side as a freezer, one side as a fridge. Space. As you can see, it's kind of tight in here. So I've got these 40 by 40 bits of some meter long angle, and I'm going to build a frame that slides my fridge out. Only problem is, well, it's not a problem for me really, it sits about 1.6 meters high. I can still access it. However, that's about my missus' head height. So I'm gonna build a drop down fridge slide for it. I've never built one before. I've never really seen one in person either, so this is gonna be interesting. I've just sort of got an idea of how I'm gonna do it. But yeah, let's see how this goes. I've gone and picked up some stuff from Bunnings, so yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so to replace those 40 by 40 pieces of wood I had for my fridge slide, I'm going to put my runners inside this rail. So it'll essentially be like that. Then I can move the whole fridge over, about that much more. And same for this, I won't have that big piece of wood, I'll save probably 80 mil of space, which isn't much, but in this canopy, like, I need the room, so whatever space I can save, I'll try and save it. So I've got a meter long 50 by 50 aluminium 3 mil from Bunnings, and these rails closed up are a meter long, so they sit in there perfect. I don't have to cut anything, I'm just going to drill mark holes. Likely rivet it. They're rated to 90 kgs, which should far exceed what their fridge is going to be. The fridge is pretty light, even with it filled of, groceries and whatever. But yeah, I'm just going to mark these holes, drill them, and then I'll repeat the step for the next one. Okay, we're done. That's one side done anyway. So that's going to be the idea anyway. Instead of running like a piece of 40 by 40, I'm going to run that. It looks nicer and it doesn't take up as much room. So in theory I need to clear that. So if I say, so yeah, that'll give you a rough idea of how it's going to sit. For the frame, I've got 30 by 30 galv steel. Should be plenty strong enough. I'll put a couple of braces through the center when I'm done. Got all the frame made up now, so I'm going to test fit that to the fridge, and then I'll probably gonna see if I got clearance. I was gonna probably put that through the center just to stop it bouncing around like that. Alrighty, so I've got the fridge sitting in the slide, well, in its frame. There is enough room to put that piece in between, so I might do maybe one through the center or two just to stiffen it up. I had to take these stupid little wheels off, but what I'm thinking is I might actually cut these wheels off and weld that to the frame. Then I can just put those screws back in so it'll actually hold the fridge in place. Then I don't have to do any like strap it down or anything like that. I'll just screw it in. So this is how far I've got on with the Fridgeslide. Rails are in, just screwed temporarily. I need to actually put another support through here that's mounted to the frame, so just to take the weight. So yeah, I'll do that before I put it all in permanently. Yeah, so I haven't got the back choppers on yet. I've only made the front, so I can only drop at 200 because of this here bar. I can't do it by myself at the moment while holding the camera, but when I fold it up, I'll try. It gets really close to this here side rail, so I'm limited to be able to drop at 200, which isn't a bad drop, I suppose. It's still a fair drop. So yeah, oh, I was getting kind of late. It's about 9 o'clock now. Working with a head torch isn't fun, but at least I made some progress and I've got an idea of where to go next. I need to come up with an idea of fasteners so it all closes up and nothing touches each other. That's going to be the next interesting thing. But yeah, anyway, I'll carry on with this tomorrow. So I'll see you guys on the next one. And just like that, it's a new day. So how far did I get last night? Alright. This is where I was up to last night. So I've got the front droppers on. Now I need to make up that, well, the back lever arm, I suppose you'd call it. Okay, sorry guys, so it's getting pretty dark out now. So I put this all together and I was having a lot of trouble. I wasn't on camera with it because I was trying to figure out all the angles and, well, not angles, but what was going wrong. It wouldn't fold up correctly. Like the back here would lift up like that and the front would come down every time I folded it up, and I couldn't get it to go in. Like, well, it would go in, but it wouldn't go in properly. I couldn't figure out what it was, and I was looking at it, and I put the fridge on and I was having a look. I started measuring, and somewhere here I stuffed up. There was 5mm difference from here to here, and that's all it took to put the whole thing out of whack. It was 5mm. So when you're doing it, you gotta make sure all your measurements are spot on, or you're gonna have trouble like me. So I re-drilled the hole 5mm lower, picked the front up a bit, and it actually does. It's a bit flimsy at the moment because I've only got everything's just sort of, you know, loosely screwed because I've been taking it on and off. Sorry, it's a bit dark, so it's hard to see, but I've got the light on the phone. And the screws, like, they're just temporary. I've only put screws in there just to figure everything out, so it doesn't actually slide all the way in because the screws end up catching here. But I'll give you a demonstration of where it's actually once they grab the handle, pick it up, and then you should be able to just slide it. So yeah, it's a bit awkward because, you know, I've got one handle like this, one like this, and you're trying to keep it level. Once I extend this, the bar and to strengthen all that up, it should be sweet. Yeah, so it'll be just simple as slide it out. And there we go. But 100%, yeah, like get all these measurements 100%, like from this point here to this point here, this point here to this point here has to be exactly the same. This isn't too much of an issue. Just be aware when this closes, that's the reason this is kinked, well, not kinked, but, you know, on a 45 like that, because when it closed it was touching here, so I had to put a 45 in so it misses it. So back to the Fridgeslide. I've been playing around with it a little bit off camera, trying to sort everything out, get all the angles right. I ran into a few problems. Yeah, from here to here and here to here have to be exactly the same or it won't fold up. So you got to get those pretty much spot on. And I went with just like cleaver pins. They seem to do the job. I've spaced them out in here to allow for all this to fold up together. Whether or not that helps or not. Yeah, I can always grab it here first day and then it's all good. So yeah, once that's up, simply I'll have the handle here. I should be able to just bring it. So when you pull it this way, it lifts it off the carpet, well, off the floor. Slide it straight out, and then all you do is just release it. Obviously it'll come out a lot smoother once it's all squared up with the bar in between. Okay, so I picked this up from Bunnings, just a piece of, what, 16 by 1.2 round bar. well, round tube. I've cut that to 450. So that's gonna sit in here like that. So I'll then, I suppose probably about there, the most comfortable spot. Okay, so I've put the bar in there. Let's drill a 60mm hole and put a couple of tacks, just so I get an idea of it. Right, we'll see if it'll close, eh? So I've got a bit of an update with where I got to with my Fridgeslide the other night. I've sort of worked out all the little kinks, and I've come up with a solution so far for all the little problems I've run into, so I'll run you through all those now. Okay, so the clevis pins didn't really work. I have to cut this one shorter, obviously. So the clevis pins didn't work, so I've gone with bolts and bases, and that's keeping everything nice and firm, because before it was like really wobbly, real wonky, didn't close up that well. So bolts was a lot better with the little like packers I made. That works a lot better. The next thing, I didn't actually think about this, was, so I first had my arm come up on an angle here so you could easily grab it, but then my fridge opens like this, so obviously that didn't work. So what I ended up doing is basically having to go to a 90 along and then a 45 up here where I've got my handle. This still isn't complete. I have to come up with a bit of another plan to make it a bit more user friendly, so I don't know if I'm going to have to come up and along. I'll show you in a minute when I close it all up what I mean, but it's working pretty good at the moment. I've got a few other minor things I need to sort out, but like, it's actually working pretty well, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of happy how it's turning out. So as you can see, it closes up quite nicely, but this is my problem. Like, this bar touches the top of my fridge, which, like, it still works as it is. Like, I can slide in like this and it's fine. It's just, it's real awkward because you've sort of got to hold the fridge and this bar down, and it's not that nice. Like, I'd rather be able to just bring the bar down here, or even up higher, so that when I bring it down a bit, it lifts the fridge up enough so that I can slide it out, because when you let it go, it sits on the ground, which is what you want. But so basically, what I might do is I actually just bring this up enough that when I bring it down, I can put my fist in there, basically, is what I want. Not have to do this. But yeah, it slides out. And you simply just let it down. And it works pretty good. I can access my fridge. It's actually pretty good for my missus, because before it was up here and she couldn't see it. This height's really good for her, so helps her out, which is good. And yeah, no, it's working out pretty well. Still got to come up with a plan for this. I don't know whether to put a second brace in here or something, just to strengthen that flex up. I'll come up with a plan with that. I've nearly sorted it out, but it's working pretty well. The only thing I want to do now is, when you pick this up, I need to put something that basically stops it at its max height because, as you can see, it can be tilted and twisted. So I need a figure a way to do that. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's only something in the way. Done. It works a treat. So what I'll do is probably just pick this up higher so I can bring it down. Right about that. No, it's working pretty well at the moment actually. Yeah, there we have it. I'm pretty happy with how it operates, and it's going to do the job. It's sturdy as now that I've put this the braces through. Yeah, no, it operates quite well. I'm actually really happy with it. For you know, like a quarter of the cost of what it would have been to actually buy one. Works pretty well for me. I'm happy with that.
Money on my mind, money on my mind. Throw it up, watch it fall from the sky. Throw it up,